if you got 20 haters, you need 40 of them motherfuckers. What is you complaining about? If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.
What it do? KayBoss here. Going over the Happy Mother's Day edition, I guess, to those who it applies to. So, at the end of the day, that's not what we came here to talk about. The Champion Duel. Now, everybody who knows who Platinum is, right? Everybody who knows who Platinum is, or in this case, Kink Ching. Everybody should know that knows it was his to begin with. I even said it. I said I know where I got my money on it. Altworld is strong. He beat me clear, but I get beat by him twice a day. Or not twice a day, but twice in this event. And then I get beat by him every single day in the arena. And I know exactly, I study his stuff. So, and then I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do here. This is what I need to do. He's the bar, right? It's way up. Some people are, right here, and his bar is just, and everybody's just trying to get there, right? And so, at the end of the day, if it wasn't for him being here, I'm pretty sure a lot of people would be in a different standpoint, per se. They wouldn't be where they would normally be at. And they would definitely have an issue with those kinds of situations where you're having that betterment being in the same iron sharpens iron, right? So, me knowing this, my money was on Platinum to begin with. And he hasn't changed his lineup since the beginning. He just pops it in there and just goes and lives life and then comes back, oh, I won? Cool. Because that's what he does. And there's people like that out there. I remember when Platinum wasn't Platinum here. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't Platinum before, but I remember when he wasn't part of Legion, he was part of a different outfit. And then we were hive burning and taking resources and whatnot. And I kept telling the original Ching, because the original Ching was one of those type of people that just, likes to burn and shit like that and take, wanted the kills because that was his thing. And I'm all about the kills too. And so we were trying to, and he made it his mission to try to burn out Platinum, but he couldn't do it by himself, so he'd always try to enlist other people and no one wanted to do it. I came around and I went with him and we got a burn off of him and I looked at how many deaths I had. I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing it again. And then that was the day that I remember him being at, he was like at 1.5 mil and I was at like 3 million. And then the next day I wake up in the morning, he was 5 mil. I'm like, y'all better leave his ass alone. And Ching was like at 6 million or something like that. He said, I got him. I'm gonna take him. I got him. I was like, I just need some help. I was like, I ain't losing no more troops. I lost like 500 troops and I was like, I'm good, man. I ain't fucking around with that. And then, I reached out to Platinum or Kink Ching. And then I was like, so, hey, what's going on? And, he could have been like, fuck you. Nah, you're the one who attacked me. No, he was like, hey, what's up, man? And I was like, hey, what's going on? I was like, man, hey, it's nothing personal. We just, learning the game and attack. He's like, it's all good, bro. It's all good, da-da-da. I was like, yeah, and I was telling him a little bit, and I was like, yeah, I got I tell everybody I was starting a YouTube channel. He's like, yeah, that sounds cool, da-da-da-da. And he was like, yeah, he goes, I played this other game for 8 years, and I spent like about 30 grand a year. Then I stopped and I said to myself, a year? Some people don't make that in a year. In some countries, I mean, the poverty line is 27,000 here in the United States. And he put the poverty line on a game for 8 years? He's like, yeah, give or take. And I said to everybody, y'all better stop leaving his ass alone and recruit his ass. So I was like, you need to, I was the recruiter at the time. I was like, man, well, it sounds like you need to be over with us. He was like, oh, really? I do? And then, he was like, no, I'm the leader here. Da, 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 da. And then when he found out he had no killers around him, it just made sense. You got to get around people that don't mind killing, don't mind losing troops, and in for the fuck joy. You know what I'm saying? Just into clown around and find out. So eventually came over here and he's dominated ever since. So I know the backstory, and I tell people this story just because you got here's what I'm trying to get to my point. My point is this: you never know who you are talking to. You never know who is playing this game. And if you push the wrong button on that dude or gal, they're gonna just fire off and put some money in the game out of spite and out of just, competitiveness or even anger or whatever the rage or emotions that they got going on, right? And so it's always good to have a little bit of befriending. See, I might be an asshole, but I'm not stupid. I'm only an asshole to somebody I know ain't gonna put some serious ducats in it. 1. 2, people who run their mouth, say they're gonna do something, and then, I wasn't a bully in high school. However, I'm the type of person that challenged those bullies. I'm like, go ahead and clown around and find out. I've never shied away from a fight, ever. If someone wants that beef, bring it to me. We'll go ahead and settle it. Oh, you want to have rules? No, I don't do no rules. So if you don't want to have there's no such thing as rules in a street fight. Everybody knows that. And anybody who gets their feelings hurt trying to play around and clown around and finding out, well, that this is a prime example of that. Now, I'm not saying Alt-World said anything to change. I'm pretty sure they're not enemies. We battled them. They beat us once. Just recently they beat us 9-6, and then the first time they wasn't ready for us, we beat them 15-0. So it's 1-1 slate right now. Now this is kind of like a back, let you know. You ain't the man yet, Alt-World. You ain't the man yet. I know you're trying, but you ain't the man yet. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just competitiveness, and that's how we're supposed to be. So let's get into the skivvies of this real quick, okay? Before I do, I've created other videos prior to this, but I waited because I was still competing, and I was gonna put out my other ones that I was because I have part 1 out already. I made part 2. Part 3 was Alt-World and I, and this is the part 4, the crescendo of the shindig. So I'm gonna break it down, and then I'm gonna break down some of the key points that I know Alt was trying to get some intel out of me, and I was like, I ain't giving you nothing. There's nothing to tell. You could see what he got going on. He hasn't changed his lineup since the beginning. So his very first lineup, I know there's somebody out there that has these stats or better, but they're not in this right now. So at the end of the day, that first lineup, hard to beat. That first lineup is hard to beat, even with the bonus. He didn't even get over 900. He's at 1,000 defense and 83 HP. You had the upper hand. The only reason why you had the upper hand is because. But if you look at the way he's set up, the 3-2, that right there, you have enough. So let me just. It doesn't show it here. So if you look at it, he had more defensive units. And this is what I didn't know. You get KIAs because of the destroyer gear that he has. So they both had destroyer gear on the first tank, right? So that's interesting. And then you look at the buffs. This is just, I mean, 100%. I mean, you can't hide it. Like, you know where you're at, where you stand. Like right here, he's like 100%, 100%. So you know where you stand. Like, there's no hiding. That's why I like the Champions Duel. Now you get to see what everybody's working with. You know what I'm saying? Go to the second one, right? Go to the second one with the troop buffs, right? You come here, he's at 80. Right? So you can see what people have, right? As far as gear. And then you come here. So, I mean, you can beat him just because he has weak heroes up here. And what's funny is he's been working, so he doesn't have to really have the time to actually do this. And you know, I'm waiting for, you know, Platinum or Ching to have a little bit of time because he's been busy. Which, you know, when you're you know, running your own conglomerate businesses or, you know, industries or whatever, you get busy. Games, I mean, he pops in just to do a little bit and then he goes. And so, you know, we're working on that. We're going to work on the schedule, and I'm going to try to be more able to facilitate and help. But at the end of the day, it's hard to beat somebody that A, knows how to play and set things up, and B, has the financial support. I mean, it's just part of the game. You gotta get used to it. So the whole story is, you never know who you're dealing with. You never know who the type of person they are, or the character, or anything like that. Now, I am an asshole, you know, to a certain extent, and I do certain things and I say certain things to get a response and a provocation, and so, you know, I'm an influencer. That's what I do. I like to stir the pot up, you know, get a little clowning around. You know what I'm saying? Get a little bit of clowning around and just let everybody know, like, hey, you know. And so it ruffles people's feathers. People get under you know, when it gets under people's skin, you know, I look at it as like, hey, I did my job if I'm getting under your skin. That's how I look at it. So, congratulations to Platinum. Congratulations to everybody who got to the Elite 8. This is a hard accomplishment. To the top 4, getting that Space Pioneer tag again. I was like, because last time I was putting up against Platinum in the first round, I was like, in the Elite 8. I was was it the Elite 8? No, yeah, it was the Elite 8, and I got matched up with him. And that's when you have way too many of your people in versus the others. So this one was the first time that Sexy was like, they had 5 people in, we had 2, and then C had 1, right? So it kind of, I think what they try to do, they try to balance it out. Now, you know, in all retrospect, if Platinum and Alt World were pinned up each other first, that would have been I know I would have got second. I ain't trying to talk smack, but I'm just looking at the stats. I mean, Pawn looked strong, but I think I would have got her just because of the setup. And I wish we would have had like a backup round to find out who's third. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, you guys are okay. I mean, I think they could do that. I mean, imagine having, you know, the other brackets. But then, you know, I thought to myself that'd probably be a little bit more difficult on them. But hey, this is just a suggestion, game developers, if you are watching my content, that you should have like in other tournaments that they have the losers bracket, or they have the fighting for at least 3rd or 4th, so you know, hey, could I have beaten that other person? And if I would have beaten them, you know, that kind of situation would have been great, because now you would have been able to have the 1st, 2nd, and then you know who's actually 3rd, and then 4th, you know, and then or 5th, 6th, all the way down to 8th position. I think that would be something that people would want to know, because then, oh yeah, I made it to that round, but then I don't know what I would have done in the, against that other person that, obviously lost to someone who's stronger than them. So this is what it boils down to. Who has the best troops? Who has the best lineups or strategy? And at the end of the day, came out to be the Ching, called the King of Chings, the King Ching Platinum. So anyway, without further ado, I am going to say congratulations to all the competitors again, and a special shout out to the Platinum over there, getting it done. I remember when I remember back in the day when we first started, and now seeing him just destroy everything is a great accomplishment. Like I said, iron sharpens iron, and I appreciate the fact that, hey, I don't have to go against him on the real battlefield. Because I'm telling you, those lineups is not the same as what he's going to hit you with, trust me. But at the end of the day, it's good to see. Okay, that being said, this is KayBoss signing off, saying, hey, please don't clown around and find out and then get your feelings hurt and then start going to tell on people and thinking that you're going to be able to get past them without them hearing it. And I'm out.
If you got 20 haters, you need 40 of them motherfuckers. What is you complaining about? If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me.